Okay, we are back with the R9 390X from ASUS. As you could see in the video that I've put in the start of this video, this middle fan is a buggered up. If I can feel here, there's not much play there, but this one's got a lot of play. So I am hoping that because this card is installed upside down inside the PC, I'm hoping that the stress from this fan hanging onto that bearing, whatever, just pulled it out a little bit, and that I would just be able to push it back in. But I want to see what's going on there anyways, and I want to check the thermal paste again, and then it's a good idea to clean off all the gunk everywhere, to help me to have this run at least another year or so. It's been a few years already. I mean, this is a very old card, but it still pushes a lot of pixies. Okay, so I'm going to open up, take it off. If you check on the back here, it's got these 6 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I already took out these 3. So if you just take out all 6 of them. Now the screws are loose. You can turn this around, and you can see if you lift this up, these 2 cables were plugged in there. So just remember, just lift it up a little bit and plug those cables off. And then we are inside. Here's the chip. So I'm going to use some cotton buds to clean off this old thermal paste. And I'm also going to clean it off nicely from this side before we put it back together. But that's not what we are here for. We want to see what's going on with the fans. So it seems to me like I can remove this plastic with the screws in here. There's one over there. I think this one over here will remove the heatsink. And then there's one on this side, here, here, and here. So I hope it's only those 6. Let me take them off and see where we can get to. So those 6 screws did loosen the heatsink from the fans. So just take it off, and then we can just get these wires out of the way. Okay, now we can take a closer look, see if we can loosen the fans in some other way. If you look through the fan blades there's 4 screws there, and that will loosen the fan from this chassis on the other side. Now this chassis is all plastic, so we just need to be very careful when you loosen those screws, and especially when you tighten them again, so you don't strip them out here, because it doesn't seem like there's a metal insert or anything. I think they just screwed in there directly. We might have a bit of an issue with the cable on this side. This cable restraint is I don't know if there's going to be enough cable here to lift off the fan if we took it off. I can't remember. I didn't go this deep last time, and can you believe it? This cable restraint is missing here. It's a bummer. Let's see if it's on the other side of the... No, it's not. Well, maybe there's not one because there isn't one. There isn't one because this bracket here fastens on there. That's why there's no extra cable protection on that side. So let's see if we can loosen these screws very softly. Okay, they do come out. Okay, I think the fan should be loose now. It is. But if you check in here, the cable is holding it back. So we need to move the cable. Okay. Now, let's take a closer look in here. See if we can see why it doesn't go in. If we unplug that fan on this side, we can take it out completely. Then we can have a look at what's going on there. Okay, so I took the sticker that's on the back there, I took off. You can see there's no nut or screw or anything holding it, this part to this side. So there's no way for me to be able to open this. I can pull it off, but I don't know what's inside there. Pull it off and a bunch of springs and stuff starts flying about, and then I won't be able to put it back together again. So I think my theory is correct that because it's hanging like this the whole time, it pulls down on whatever is holding it here, the bushes or the bearing, whatever, the magnets or whatever, and then it pulls out and it doesn't make contact as it should anymore. So the only thing I'm going to do is I'm just pressing this on all sides so it can go back in. I'm not doing too hard, just so it's in. And then I'm just going to put it back in and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then this bad boy will have to run on 2 fans. I'll just make sure I monitor the temperatures and see that it doesn't go too high. But I think, honestly, I think these 3 fans are more for aesthetics than anything else. I don't think it actually needs all 3 fans on this big heatsink. I don't think so. So hopefully it will work on 2 fans if the other one doesn't work now anymore, and I can still get a few years out of it. I'm not gonna change this fan. I mean, this GPU it was actually at the end of its life when I bought this about 4 or 5 years ago. It was just before the new generation came out. So, you know, it's been going for a few years already. So I'm not going to spend any more money on it. I'd rather save some money and then buy a new GPU. But all that's left now is it's going to clean all this up. It's going to reassemble everything as it was, put it back into the PC, and then see if it shoots us. Okay, so just a quick note. I reassembled everything and installed it back into the PC, but it did the same. So I came back here to disconnect just the middle fan so it doesn't run anymore. Another thing I saw, as soon as I plug it in, I wanted to see if it will maybe do better when the fan speed ramps up. So I started up Tomb Raider 2013, which I'm playing at the moment. As soon as I started up, the fans went to 100% immediately. Luckily, I always have a GPU monitor on, and I saw my temperature shot up to 90 degrees, which it should only reach when there's big problems. So I shut it off, brought it back out here, mainly to disconnect the cable, and I checked again. And what I never realized, and I made this mistake the last time when I changed the thermal paste as well, was that these 6 screws you take off initially, there are differences in them. There's 2 of these with black springs, and then there's 4 of these with silver springs. Make sure you put the 4 with the silver springs back on the 4 that's close to each other, because those pull the GPU onto the heatsink. Those other 2 black ones comes on here. So when I came back out, before I removed this cover again, I checked in between where the GPU comes onto, where the chip comes onto the heatsink, and I could clearly see on this side it was lifted higher than on that side there. It wasn't making good enough contact, so there was no way for the heat to go anywhere. That's why it shot up to 90 degrees. Even I just started the game, it was just the main menu that brought it up to 92 degrees. So if I were to play like that, it would have fried this GPU. Luckily I realized it, and now I'll use the right screws on the right place. Cool. Thanks for watching.